Now, what I see here in this last point is some underhanded tactics, and I don't like it. What I see what's going on here is Sadhguru. Hi there, my name's David Rams. You might remember me from videos such as this one that just hit 1 million views. I actually can't believe that video just crossed 1 million views. That's crazy. In celebration of that video crossing 1 million views, I decided to do a little bit more research into Sadhguru and see if he's changed at all when it comes to veganism. So I typed in, just, popped it in on YouTube, Sadhguru vegan, and lo and behold, I found a brand new video where Sadhguru was responding to a vegan question. Sort of. Today I'm going to respond to what Sadhguru says in that video. If he says silly things, I'm going to call out the silly things he's saying. Knowing Sadhguru, he's going to say some silly things. So let's dive in and take a look at what Sadhguru says in this new video. If you're ready to start, let me know by dropping a like on the video right now and subscribe as well, just because I don't have a reason. Just subscribe, all right? Just subscribe. Let's take a look at what Sadhguru has to say.
A question just that I've had anyway, okay, I'm not a vegan. I should be because I have a chicken egg intolerance. But then there's a whole different problem with vegan lifestyle, right? Not vegan lifestyle, but the farming of the soy and all that stuff. What's your opinion about that?
There's a problem with veganism because of the farming of soy. That's interesting. It's almost like she doesn't know that soy farming is mainly happening for animal feed, to feed animals in animal agriculture. Yeah, if you go vegan, you're not contributing to that, actually. Do you really think that the majority of soy farming goes to like a tiny percentage of the population that happens to be vegan? Seriously? How is this woman sat there in front of Sadhguru at a conference about soil and environmental destruction, and she doesn't know what the majority of soy farming is for? Come on, man. And also, she should be vegan because she's allergic to eggs. That was her first point. What does having an allergy have to do with taking an ethical position on animals? Like, going vegan is because you're against animal cruelty, you're against animal abuse. It's not because you just want to eat something. That's eating the plant-based diet. So she's off to a really bad start. So let's see what Sadhguru responds.
I am not here to tell anybody what they should eat, because people can eat what is best for them.
This message sponsored by Jeffrey Dahmer.
Now, people might have, or nations or cultures might have arrived at a certain type of food because at a certain time, survival was the issue. When survival was the issue, we made certain choices. Now that survival is not the issue, definitely we should make wiser and better choices.
And that's a wise and much better message than your opening message, Sadhguru. I agree. Now that survival is not on the table for a lot of people, we shouldn't be acting like it is. Like, people say, oh, but we needed to eat meat to survive. So what does that matter? You're not eating meat to survive right now. You're eating it because you like it. So that means you're putting an animal in a slaughterhouse. This animal's getting hung upside down, having their throat cut because you like it. How is that a good enough reason to do that to an animal? Newsflash, it isn't. So instead, eat something else. You're not doing this for survival anymore. That's a good message from Sadhguru.
When I say wiser and better, this is not my recommendation, it's for you to experiment.
And then he screws it. What do you mean it's for you to experiment? Like, you realize that someone like Jeffrey Dahmer, who cooked and ate his victims, was experimenting. What about if someone decides they want to experiment on cows, like they already are doing in the West, experimenting on cows, eating them, doing all these different shit with them to try and get them to make more milk and stuff like that? Is that okay, Sadhguru? Obviously it's not okay. So stop being a bloody politician and get to the point, cut to the chase.
So how to eat? What is the ideal food for this body? See, food is not a philosophy, food is not a religion, food is a practical solution for this body.
In a world where survival is no longer a thing, it's no longer something we need to think about, as Sadhguru just admitted, then absolutely there should be a philosophy to food. Absolutely. He's completely contradicting himself right now. He just said when survival's not an issue, we should be thinking differently. But then he's just said there shouldn't be philosophy. But then if you're not eating for survival, you are eating with philosophy. These are contradicting points from Sadhguru. I don't understand what he means here. Let's see if he makes it a bit clearer in this next point.
Well, survival is not good enough. When survival is in question, well, it's a big deal. But once survival is taken care of, it doesn't mean anything. Something more needs to happen. Maybe people have never figured out what is that something more, but something more and something more needs to happen. In search of that something more, we're turning the planet upside down. That's all that's happening. In pursuit of human happiness and well-being, this is happening. So, this aspect of what should I eat should never be approached philosophically or through religious beliefs. You must experiment and see what makes you very agile and alert.
This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He's saying that we shouldn't be thinking about survival right now, and we're past that, we're looking for something more. Philosophy is that something more. We look for the things that keep us healthy and keep us operating well, but we have to apply philosophy to it to understand what makes us healthy and well, but also what doesn't kill and abuse billions of animals. These two things need to come together. What he's missing completely here. He's just saying, oh, we need to do what makes us agile and feel well. If we're only looking at what makes us agile, or in his eyes, what makes us agile and feel well or whatever, that's completely subjective. That means that each individual person has their own idea. For example, some people eat a steak and say it makes them feel amazing. Some people eat a steak and say it makes them feel sick. Some of this is biological, some of this is like physiological, some of this is in your head. Some of this is a placebo effect. So this advice from Sadhguru is terrible. It should absolutely come down to first of all, fact, biology, so nutrition. Is this thing giving you the correct nutrition, yes or no? Fine. Then, which of these things can give you the correct nutrition, causing the least amount of harm, the least amount of suffering for other animals? That's where the philosophy comes in.
Right now, 51 million square kilometers of land is being used for agriculture on this planet, out of which 40 million square kilometers of land is used to raise animals and their feed. Please, does it sink into you? 77% of the agricultural lands are mainly used either for raising animals or their feed.
Now, I'm really happy he brought that up, because right at the beginning, she was complaining about soy, remember? And now he's debunking our point, which is great, because it's really important that people know this, especially people who call themselves environmentalists. That is an insane amount of land and an insane amount of wasted resources for the richest people on Earth, because the poorest people on Earth have the least consumption of animal products. So all of this land usage, all of these animals being killed, it's not going to save and feed the world. That's not what's happening here. It's going to rich people in richer countries who just want a burger because burgers taste good. So I'm really happy Sadhguru brought that up. We've finally found some common ground. I agree with him bringing this up. It's really important.
Every doctor in the world is telling you with red meat, your healthcare bills are as high as they are mainly because of what you're eating. The headquarters for most of your chronic ailments is in your stomach. Yes. It's also slowly shifting to your head, that's another matter.
Look at some of the comments on my videos from meat flakes and meatheads. It is shifting to people's heads. I mean, people are really, really angry with vegans right now. So I have to agree. It does seem like the meat is going to people's heads.
You don't have an animal at home and you're not going to slaughter it and eat fresh meat. It is processed, it's kept somewhere, 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, many of them 3 months later you're eating. This will cause enormous amount of trouble for the human body.
And not only trouble for the human body, trouble for those animals that got chopped into little pieces. I mean, geez, if you don't care about the animal themselves, like you don't care that some young innocent animal was chopped down and chopped into pieces for your burger, well, first of all, I mean, you're a bit of a douchebag if you don't care about that. But also, what he said is right. They do sit there for days, weeks, or even sometimes months. Just think about that for a second. I mean, this is like flesh and body parts, and then it sits around, and then you want to eat it. I mean, if you've ever been in a farm one of these farms where these animals are, or a slaughterhouse, and seen what's going on and seen what's happening to these animals and seen them ripping the fur off, ripping the feathers off, taking all the guts out, and all the things that have to happen before this piece of meat gets to the supermarket. I mean, if you don't care about the animal, isn't this process just enough to put you off? I've been in farms, guys. I've been in a lot of farms, and I look there and I'm like, even if I weren't vegan, even if I didn't care about animals, the smell and all the urine and the feces and all the disease and all these broken legs and you look at it all and you're like, why would anyone want to eat anything that came out of this place? I just don't get it, guys. Now, Sadhguru's most interesting points are coming up right now, so don't go anywhere yet. There is a point right at the end of this video that I've got a problem with, so stick around for that.
If everybody consumes 50% less meat consumption, 20 million square kilometers of land will be free. If at least 40% of your diet comes from trees, well, in temperate climates, you have only fruits. In tropical climates, we have both fruits and vegetables which come from trees. So if 40% of your diet comes from trees, you will see your healthcare bills will come down minimum by 50 to 70% of the nation and of the individual.
So basically the message here is eat more fruits and vegetables and you'll be healthier. Which, I mean, it's not exactly a controversial point. It's what your mum and dad have been telling you from birth, right? But then when you decide to go vegan, all of a sudden, you're gonna die, right? Eat fruits and vegetables, but not like that.
Right now, for example, the most affluent nation on the planet, United States, spends 3.2 or 3.25 trillion dollars as healthcare for 350 million people. India's economy is not yet that much, it's somewhere close to that, but for 1.3 billion people.
Yeah, America has some insanely bad health problems, and it is mostly because of the diet, because of extremely processed animal foods, mostly, that is messing up people in the States and costing all that money. But what he's missed here, something quite important, is that India's main healthcare issue right now is diabetes. And there are many theories as to why diabetes is such a problem in India. One of those theories is because India has an extremely high consumption of dairy, and that has gotten higher and higher and higher as the years have been going by because of aggressive marketing and aggressive promotion of dairy by the company Amul, which is one of the largest dairy companies in the world. And you guessed it, Sadhguru is 100% supportive of dairy consumption. As I said earlier, he supports it. He says it's spiritual, the cows giving you life through the milk and all this silly stuff, encouraging people to continue and consume more and more and more milk, ghee and cheese, which some people have theorized is causing a lot of the health issues in India. And actually throughout this video, Sadhguru has not mentioned dairy once. He's mentioned the environmental impact of meat and the health impacts of meat, but he's not even mentioned the environmental impact of dairy and the health impacts of dairy, both of which are very well documented, both of which are really important. And actually, when it comes to dairy, only lamb and beef cause more greenhouse gas emissions. Dairy is actually worse for the environment than pork, salmon, turkey, and chicken production. But Sadhguru won't mention that, of course, because that doesn't fit his agenda. Unfortunately, even when he's doing something good, he's being a bit inconsistent and he's being a bit of a hypocrite. Now, Sadhguru's next point, I've got a bit of an issue with. I've got a controversial opinion on it, so let's have a look, and then I'll give you my controversial opinion.
Why does an individual person seek affluence, or why does a society seek affluence? Initially, it is a question of nourishment. So let us say you're earning only 10 euros per day. I know you don't, but I'm just saying. You're earning 10 euros per day and you are eating just whatever meagerly meals that were there. Then your dream is, if I earn 20 euros per day, I can eat better. This is an aspiration within the human being. So initially, it is a question of better nourishment. Later, it is a question of variety of lifestyles that people choose. This is why affluence is sought after both by individuals, societies and nations. So the most affluent nation on the planet, which has a whole variety of choices of nourishment and enormous choices about lifestyle, spends $3.25 trillion on healthcare for 350 million people, that is a statement on what you're eating.
Now, what I see here in this last point is some underhanded tactics, and I don't like it. What I see what's going on here is Sadhguru trying to promote his politics. What he's saying is trying to get better for yourself, trying to improve your situation, trying to improve your lifestyle is bad. He's trying to tell you, live within your means and stop trying to go for bigger and better, which is a terrible, terrible message. And I don't think you should be listening to him. What you should be doing, in my opinion, is going to try and improve your lifestyle, trying to get to those better foods. But don't be eating things and doing things that hurt others. You can still get nice, tasty, expensive food if you want. Eat the stuff that isn't causing other animals to be put in slaughterhouses. And if you're bothered about the environment, eat stuff that's local. You've got restaurants these days that are doing local vegan food at a high quality level with all the nutrition you need. So why not go and eat that? The message shouldn't be stop doing the things you love and stop trying to go for more. The message should be go for more, do all the things you love. Just do them in a different way. Do them in a way that's better for the animals. That's it. So I don't agree with his point here. I don't think we should all be eating bugs. I don't think we should all be giving up the things we love and not striving for affluence. I think you should absolutely strive for affluence. Strive to get the things you love, but be conscious about it and think about it before you do it. And don't do things that hurt others. I mean, it's that simple. Although I agree with some of what Sadhguru says here, I think we're coming from different places. I don't like the place he's coming from. I think he's coming from this big government, control everybody, get everybody to eat bugs angle, and trying to use the environmental stuff as an excuse to kind of take control over people and get them to stop doing things they love. I don't like that at all. I think that's really bad messaging. I'm not on board with that. But what I am on board with is the facts he brought up about what animal agriculture does to the world and pointing out some of these facts that people like to ignore. But the main take-home message from me is this. If you care about the environment, that's great. Do what you can for the environment. If you care about your health, that's great. Do what you can for your health. But what I really want you to think about is those animals that you try to ignore every single day. Don't ignore them. Think about what they go through. Think about the lives they have or don't have because of what you want to buy, and switch what you buy to something that doesn't cause that. I'm sure you're a compassionate person. I'm sure you don't hate animals. So show it and go vegan. Keep calling out that Sadhguru bullshit, and I'll catch you in the next video.